What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic week. I am doing a wedding this weekend for one of my best friends in the entire world, and it got me thinking, I think people could use some help on how to have healthy Christian relationships when they're dating. So today we're talking about 3 tips for healthy Christian dating. The first tip is this: make sure you are ready, okay? There's a lot of people who want to get into a relationship because they're lonely. Maybe they feel like they need someone to complete them. But the truth is, you're only going to have a successful relationship if you are ready to actually be in a relationship. If you're coming out of an addiction or some type of trauma, or you're in counseling, maybe it's a season where you need to focus on yourself and not really worry so much about dating. And so it's super important. Make sure you are ready. Don't lie to yourself. Don't hurt yourself or someone else by getting into a relationship before you're ready. Make sure you're ready. I'm going to the church because, strangely enough, I am officiating this wedding, but the photographer for my friend's wedding is kind of not doing a fantastic job of communicating. So I'm going to pick up some camera gear just in case I have to snap some quick little photos of my best friend. Holy grail right here, baby. This lens, magical. Set expectations. Set expectations. And I know a lot of times when people talk about setting expectations, setting goals, different things like that, you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. But I want to actually encourage you to not just set expectations, but write them down. Did you know that 42%, that's right, 42% more people find success when they actually write their goals down than if they just think of their goals? 42%. So if you set expectations of who you're looking for in a husband or in a wife, and you actually write those things down, it's a really, really big deal. And what I would encourage you to do is think about the type of person that you want to marry. Is it someone who loves Jesus? Is it someone who loves kids? Is it someone who's hardworking, kind, compassionate, funny, attractive? Okay, it's not a bad thing to want to marry someone who's attractive, okay? You should marry someone that you are attracted to. So write those expectations out, think hard, pray about them, and whenever you actually write those expectations down, there are way higher odds that you're gonna find someone that fits those expectations, okay? That is point number 2. If you are liking this video and you're getting any value out of this, give it a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel. Okay, so my car had a check engine light go off, and I'm supposed to leave tomorrow morning for this wedding that's 3 hours away, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm borrowing my dad's car to hopefully be able to get to this wedding safely. And the last point that I have for you guys is this: set boundaries. What do I mean by set boundaries? That can sound super Christianese and a little over the top. Let me explain. So this is what I mean by boundaries. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 says this: above all else, guard your heart, because everything you do flows from it. Everything. So we need to guard our hearts. Whenever people set boundaries, for some reason I think that we set up boundaries as the line that we don't want to cross. But those are 2 totally different things. For instance, if the line I don't want to cross is I don't want to have sex before I'm married, then the boundary needs to be before that. Like, the line can't be, well, I'm just gonna try really, really hard to not have sex before I'm married. That's my boundary. No, you need to set up boundaries that are going to keep you from crossing the line that you don't want to cross. So you're maybe saying, well, we're not gonna be alone with each other late at night. We're gonna keep our hands off of each other. We're not gonna kiss whenever we're alone. Certain things like that. That is a boundary that will help you not cross the line that you want to cross. And I think it's important too, when we're talking about boundaries, there are offensive boundaries, but there are also defensive boundaries. And so an offensive boundary is something that is not really talked about. We talk a lot about defensive boundaries, and most people know those things, okay? That's like what I just talked about. But we also need to have offensive boundaries. Those are things that we do proactively to make sure that we do not make a mistake that we don't want to make. That's spending time with Jesus every single day. Being a part of an accountability group where people are constantly asking me questions and seeing how well I'm doing in my thought life. So it's important that we don't just set up defensive boundaries, but offensive boundaries. Offensive boundaries, if you put them in place and you're proactive about making sure that your heart is good with Jesus, then a lot of times those defensive boundaries don't even really come into play, and that is the best case scenario. But I do want to say, maybe you've made a mistake in setting boundaries, or you've crossed a boundary that you really didn't want to cross. Live in the grace of God, okay? God doesn't judge you. God doesn't condemn you. Only the enemy does that. So live in the grace of God. And in fact, my experience has been that even whenever I've messed up, God can often redeem those mistakes and use them to reach people in the future. So if you want to know more about how that works, check out this video right here. If you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.